The Whispers in the Woods. The Thompson family, John, his wife Mary, and their two children, Anna and Ben, moved to a remote cabin in the woods to escape the chaos of city life. They were looking for peace and tranquility, a place to reconnect and slow down. The cabin, nestled deep within the forest, seemed like the perfect escape. For the first few days, the family enjoyed the serenity. The air was fresh, the scenery beautiful, and the silence profound. It was a stark contrast to the constant noise of the city. But as they settled in, they began to notice something strange. At night, when the wind rustled through the trees, they could hear faint whispers coming from the forest. "Do you hear that?" Mary asked John one evening as they sat on the porch, listening to the sounds of the night. "Hear what?" John replied, straining his ears. "Whispers," Mary said. "It sounds like voices." John listened closely, and after a moment, he heard it too. A soft, almost inaudible murmuring, as if the trees themselves were speaking. He brushed it off as the wind playing tricks on them, but the whispers persisted, growing louder each night. Anna and Ben, curious and adventurous, decided to investigate. One afternoon, they ventured deeper into the woods, following the whispers. They reached a small clearing, where the trees seemed older and more twisted. The air felt heavier, and the whispers grew louder, more distinct. "It's like they're talking to us," Anna said, a mix of excitement and fear in her voice. "But what are they saying?" Ben wondered aloud. The children couldn't make out the words, but the whispers felt urgent, almost pleading. They hurried back to the cabin to tell their parents what they had found. That night the whispers were louder than ever, filling the cabin with an eerie presence. John and Mary could no longer ignore them. They decided to seek answers, hoping to uncover the source of the whispers and put an end to their unease. The next morning, the family ventured into the clearing Anna and Ben had discovered. As they stood among the ancient trees, the whispers seemed to coalesce into a single, sorrowful voice. It spoke of a tragic history, of settlers who had lived on the land long before the cabin was built. These settlers had suffered greatly, driven to madness by the isolation and the harshness of the wilderness. In their desperation, they had turned on one another, their lives ending in violence and despair. "We are the spirits of those who once lived here," the whispers intoned. "We seek redemption, but our souls cannot find peace." The family listened, horrified and fascinated. The whispers revealed that the spirits needed something from them, something they could not give. The spirits sought to reclaim their lost lives, to relive their final moments in hopes of finding peace. "Leave this place," the whispers urged, "or suffer the same fate as we did." Fearful but determined to understand, John and Mary decided to investigate the history of the land. They drove to the nearest town and spoke with the local historian, who confirmed the tragic tale. The settlers had indeed met a grim fate, their souls bound to the land by their suffering and madness. When the Thompsons returned to the cabin, the atmosphere had changed. The whispers were no longer just sounds. They carried a palpable weight, pressing down on the family. The spirits were growing restless, their presence more oppressive each night. One evening, as the family huddled together in fear, the whispers turned into anguished cries. The cabin shook, and the air grew frigid. Shadows danced on the walls, and the spirits' torment became unbearable. "We must leave," Mary cried, grabbing the children. But as they tried to flee, the spirits' anger manifested. The door slammed shut, and the windows shattered. The whispers became screams, filled with pain and fury. "Give us what we need," the spirits demanded. "We can't," John shouted, his voice drowned out by the cacophony. In a desperate bid for survival, John remembered the historian's words. Sometimes, the past must be acknowledged for the present to move on. He grabbed the family Bible, which had been in the cabin since they arrived, and began to read passages aloud, hoping to offer some form of solace to the restless spirits. As he read, the cries softened, the shadows receded, and the temperature began to rise. The spirits seemed to listen, their fury abating, their whispers turning to quiet sobs. "You must leave this place," the whispers said once more, now filled with sorrow rather than anger. "Find peace for us and yourselves." The family, shaken and exhausted, gathered their belongings and left the cabin that night. They drove back to the city, vowing never to return to the haunted woods. The cabin, now abandoned, stood silent once more, a testament to the restless souls that lingered there. The Thompsons never forgot their time in the woods. They moved on with their lives, but the memory of the whispers and the spirits' anguish stayed with them. They often wondered if the spirits had finally found peace, or if they were still trapped, waiting for someone to hear their sorrowful cries.